like looking at things again that you've always ignored or neglected, I guess. Anger, rage, that type of shit. That subject's been popping up, and like I don't know how that relates to scary movies or how I got into that. That's actually like maybe that's how somebody like Carnage is made, but like maybe if Carnage lives a good life, he doesn't become that. Like, because I feel like I got tendencies. Like there's shit that I was always fighting whenever I was little. Like I was very combative. Like it was pretty much like what I wanted to do or we fought. And it was like that with not like the whole time growing up, but I remember like in a few instances, like I got into a few scuffles. And it wasn't like me trying to force my will on anybody. Like anytime I ever fought, it was in self-defense. Like I never went out and attacked somebody. I never went out and bullied anybody. Like I was either protecting myself or someone I cared about. And like, I don't know, like my brother is like getting messed with, so I mess with this kid, and then his brother comes. He's like, why are you messing with my brother? I was like, why is your brother messing with my brother? And it's like that. It was like elementary school playground, like childish, like doesn't matter. Like, you show up home and my shirt's ripped up. I'm like, Dad got into a fight. He's like, did you win? So it's like, and I don't even know if that's the response or if that's just what everybody says, but I remember him saying, do you win? Did you win? And that was about as much concern as he had, because like we're harmless elementary school kids. What the fuck we gonna do? So that, like, I think it's good to stand up for yourself. It's good to not like be a pushover. You gotta have your teeth in some way. Some people can do it with their brain. They can psychologically fuck you up. And some people can do it physically, and I choose not to do it at all. Like I try to avoid anything like that. I think we have enough war, we have enough hate, and we got enough anger and resentment in the world. I don't want to be a perpetuator. It's just like trolls. Like when I'm playing the game, like that toxicity stops with me. Like I don't go and force it on. I always saw it with my little brothers and sisters. Like when I was upset because I couldn't get something from the parents, I'd go and like, you know, be mean to my little brother, and then he would be mean to his little brother, or our little brother, like below him, and then onto the little sister, and then onto the baby, and then eventually, like, you know, it stopped at the baby. Nobody fucked with the baby, basically. Like the baby was untouchable, but like everybody else, shit rolled downhill. So you would start like getting into like picking on each other and teasing each other and like, oh, look what I got. Or we just like look at my sister and we just look at her and she'd be like, stop looking at me. Try to eat her food. Stop. Cut it out. You're looking at me. So like that type of shit. But it was never like, I never fought them. Like my brother I did. Like my brother's, I'm 37, he's 36. He was always 1 year younger, and I think when I was a baby I resented that. And I think I've apologized to him. If I haven't formally here in front of everybody, I apologize, brother. Like I shouldn't have did those, because instead of doing things myself, I would run experiments. Like I would have him go in first and I would have him like, and this is like, it's so shitty, but it's just the case. Like, I don't know if like whenever he was born, he took attention away from me or what, but like my parents tell me of the fucked up shit I did to him whenever I was younger. Like, I don't remember all of it, but I myself, I think I was struggling. So I think I was maybe asking for help or something. Like, I don't know. But like very many times, like friends and family, like, you can't take some of that stuff back. And I look at it now as an adult and I'm like, damn, that was shitty. Like I feel like reaching out and apologizing every time one of these things come up. But again, it's like, I'm gonna go scratch open all these wounds that people don't even have. It's like, this is my shit, this ain't their shit. So I'm trying to work on it and make it stop with myself. And I just like, every interaction I have with my brothers and sisters now is just like only from a place of love. Like I don't ever like, I don't know how often people communicate like with their friends and family and stuff like that, but I think for myself it's way below average or way below normal. I keep to myself like probably way more than and it's not just myself, like I have like a community. It's not just me by myself. I got my wife, I got like friends and family in the area, but, and I say that like, you know, we're not always going around hanging out with each other or anything, but we're here for support whenever it's necessary. Like, we have emergency relationships, but we're not socializing all the time. We're not going to bowling alleys, or like, we don't go play golf, or sometimes we dog sit like for our friends, and sometimes like we like have, you know, play dates for the kids. We go on walks. Like, we do go on walks, like trails, but very rarely, like once a year maybe. And other than that, we just keep to ourselves. Like, honestly, at one point, whenever I started streaming every day kind of seriously, I actually decided, like, what would it be like, what would it take for somebody to live in a way that would be conducive to space travel? Because I was thinking about, like, putting myself in a vacuum at the time. Like, I want to be the only person that exists in my world, like, outside of, like, this bubble. And I was thinking, like, that's basically, because I was playing Elite Dangerous, like, that's basically, like, what you're doing in space flight. Like, most of the journey is, like, where you're living your life. And you reach destinations or milestones along the way, but I've very much been nomadic my whole life, so maybe that's why I see it this way. Like, growing up, like, I wish, you know how you can go /played and you can see, like, oh, I played this game for, across all these characters, 466 days logged in. I wish it was like a mile counter that I had, like, somewhere where I could just, like, open a lash and be like, oh, this is how many miles I've traveled in my life. And just being on the road alone, like, so many hours in a car, or just driving from one location to the next every weekend to go see, like, a family member or something, like 2-hour trips, 1 hour, or actually I think it's 2 hours up there and 2 hours back. And then I got in the military and I started getting my own money, and I started doing that myself, traveling 3 hours to Dallas and back from Dallas to Fort Hood. Basically, it's like 3-hour trip back and forth. So it's 3 hours up there and 3 hours back. So, like, when I do that, I don't have weekends. I was in the military, so I would, like, work all week, do that on the weekend, and then come back and work all week again. And I couldn't do that very much. Like, that shit wore me out fast. So, like, now it's a struggle for me even to make a 1-hour trip to Austin to go see my brother. But I still try to, like, at least once or twice a year. I'm not very much one for, like, ceremony or celebration as far as, like, holidays go. Like, I kind of wish we could do away with the whole shit. Feels like more stress than it's worth, and we don't seem to even remember what the values of the holidays represent half the time, it feels. And not just, like, you know, yeah, I don't know, and just fucking going on now, guys. Don't let me bring you down. I feel like it's a taboo. Like, you don't say you don't do holidays. You don't say you don't do, I don't do birthdays. Like, I don't do that shit. I don't like that shit. I don't like the attention. And it's weird because I'm streaming. Like, I don't like, for myself, like, I would do like, I do birthdays for my son and, like, my wife. Like, she's like me. She'd rather not. Like, and we don't do Thanksgiving. Like, Easter. This Easter, my son was like, it's Easter? And I felt so shitty. I was like, he doesn't know it's Easter? So I was like, what's happening here? It's like, is this the transition? Is this the Great Reset or something? Or is this just like me, like, in revolt or something like that? Because, you know, I made a decision too, like, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to make this something that supports us. And I think this is the first time I've actually said that this is this is actually something I want to support our family. But that's what I hope it turns into, but only after it's worthy. Like, I don't feel like it's worthy yet. Like, I've been working on it for so long. I've been trying to, like, do all this personal self-development and self-growth, and, like, I wanted to be this example, at least, if nothing else. Like, if I could make myself valuable enough, I thought if I worked on myself enough, if I got in shape, if I started, like, researching the right subjects, and, like, what I decided was everyone needs to learn how to live a life, like, to live a good life, like, everybody. And I started, like, going on this thing where I was gonna, like, create this Stalwart Vanguard, which is, like, to be on the Stalwart Vanguard is to be a part of this moment where we exist right now. Like, we're in the Stalwart Vanguard. And I actually had like videos I showed, and I don't know if I've shown this before on stream. I've talked about it a few times, but there's this image that pops up in my head where Speed Racer, or the Flash rather, is living on like the it's a scene in a movie. God, I don't want to go into all that shit. I think I've talked about it before. But it actually takes a lot of attention and focus for me to say it properly, and here, let's vanish. So like, damn. Let's do it. Okay. The Speed Force. The Speed Force, DC, the Flash, Cyborg? He's doing something to, he's like trying to, the Flash is trying to capture or catch up to or run to Cyborg, and he does it, he like runs so fast, he runs like faster than basically the world can render, and you see the world trying to render as he's running, and he's basically trying to either save or connect, or he's trying to like Cyborg cameo written out of the Flash. There's like shit going on with the Flash actor right now too, so I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to find the clip. But yeah, like, I think of the Stalwart Vanguard as like this moment. It's like the current moment, and it's like not just the current moment, it's like the current like fad or trend, or like it's not just like memes. It's not like it's more like, I don't want to say like idealistically loaded words, but for me it is like almost a spiritual thing. Like, I've already like kind of thought this shit out and done some work internally and thought about approaching it this way, and without so many words, I guess it's just like whatever the game I'm playing, like every time you see me I'm giving an update, and this is where I'm at in this current moment. This current moment is the moment that connects us all. Like, whenever you watch this, like as I'm making it, it's in this moment. Like, and it's the case that those who are present exist in the Stalwart Vanguard. You'll see a lot of people in the world working at their job or driving around for their 9 to 5, and they're not present. Like, they're checked out. They're kind of going through the motions, doing the same thing that they've done a million times. And the Stalwart Vanguard's more about breaking that. It's more about like switching it up and getting down to the nitty gritty of what you're actually trying to accomplish. Like, it's like taking things where nobody else is seen, like, and doing things in a way that nobody else is doing, and like not just following the trends, but like trying to create new trends. And you do that just by putting things out there. Like, I say people have pollen, they have this data, and we call it cookies, and we cache them in our browsers and all this stuff like that. But that's all information, and it's information rich in like what you want in your experience. You vote all the time. You vote with your time spent, your money, the attention you give to it. You share it, you retweet it, like all of that, that's your currency. Like, and it kind of felt contradictory, like for me to want to like support my family and like, you know, make a stream that was monetizable. Like, it felt like I was feeding into that same thing that I was trying to get away from. You know, I'm not motivated by money, but I wouldn't deny how useful it could be and what I could do with it. Like, it would definitely make things easier, but I don't think it's necessary. I think as long as I got any kind of mic and any kind of camera, I can do any kind of recording and get my thoughts and ideas out there. And that just helps people, because you can't know where people are in their lives and what's useful to them. So you just treat everything sacred, like as if anything that you say or do, like whether it's a good example or a bad example, like whether people follow it or stay the fuck away from it, you're providing information, and that's that pollen, that's the data, that's what's valuable. You don't have to get rich off of it for it to be useful. And that's the case. It's like I've treated like the games that I play, like I take it seriously. Like, what game do I want to waste my time with? No, I don't think that way. Like, what game am I going to be in the Stalwart Vanguard with? Like, what game am I bringing to my current experience at this moment? And the Stalwart Vanguard's like not limited to any time or place or people. Like, it permeates everything. It's everywhere. You can't exist outside the Stalwart Vanguard if you're present. So it's like, it's not a question. It's not like, do you guys want to join? It's the fact that you are a part of it, at least as I see it. And I act as if that's the case. Like, I treat everybody that comes here and they sit in the chat. Like, I get my feelings hurt if I miss somebody's chat and they've been talking and I'm like, ah, fuck. Like, I wasn't in the Stalwart Vanguard there. Like, I missed that. I eluded that. And Elude, like, I have the name Elude Stalwart. Like, you could grow up and you can get disappointed with people, like people that say they're gonna do something, or somebody that promises they'll be there, or anything like that. But you could also recognize how that hurts and try not to be that yourself. And I feel like so many times I fall short because I do disappoint people, and I do like not show up when I'm supposed to. And I don't want to get emotional or anything, but it's the case that like it matters to me. I'll just say that.